Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Entertainment with Buford and Francis. Today, I'll be cosplaying as Francis from the Really Odd Parents, and he'll be telling the story of Barbie Fairytopia, the Magic of the Rainbow. Enjoy the video! Alina and her puffball friend Bibble live in the Magic Meadow, a region in Fairytopia. They receive a visit from Azura, one of the 7 guardian fairies of Fairytopia. The Enchantress, the ruler of Fairytopia, has instructed the 7 guardians to appoint an apprentice each, and Azura wants Alina to be her apprentice. Alina is thrilled by the honor and sets off for the Enchantress's home, Crystal Palace, where she has to go to accept the apprenticeship. Along the way to the Crystal Palace, Alina and Bibble meet an apprentice named Lyndon and a winged animal called a Tumby and make friends. Alina arrives at the dormitories near the Crystal Palace, where the apprentices are to stay, and meets her fellow apprentices. In particular, she gets along with Glee, a fairy who has a female puffball Dizzle as a companion, who Bimble falls in love with. The 7 apprentices are addressed by the 7 guardians, who informs them that one of the main duties of the guardians is to perform the flight of spring. The first blush of spring, resembling a pink flower bud, is coaxed open during the flight of spring. The first blush of spring then releases the first rainbow of spring, thereby preventing a bitterly cold winter of 10 years from occurring in Fairytopia. The apprentices are to attend classes given by the various guardians and learn 3 techniques for performing the flight. It becomes evident as the fairies attend classes that Alina is a particularly gifted fairy. Unknown to Alina, the evil Laverna wishes revenge on the Enchantress and Alina. Following her defeat, she transforms her henchman Max into a decoy to stay at the bog, while Laverna herself approaches Alina and tricks her into performing a fairy undoing spell. Laverna regains her fairy form and flies away. Alina is mortified by her mistake, but when she tries to warn the guardian fairies, they consult the looking glass and see Max in Laverna's place, mistakenly concluding that Laverna is still safely transformed. Even so, as the time to perform the flight of spring draws near, security is tightened, the apprentices take turns patrolling at night. The other apprentices, excluding Lyndon and Glee, confront Alina by the accident she made by being tricked by Laverna. During patrols, another apprentice named Sunburst is injured, and all the guardian fairies fall into comas. The Enchantress herself appears and says that she will personally train the apprentices, since they will have to perform the flight of spring while the guardian fairies are comatose. On the big day, the 7 apprentices arrive at the Crystal Palace. They start to perform the flight, during which Alina discovers that Sunburst is actually Laverna in disguise. Knowing that no one will believe her, Alina leaves the ceremony to search for the real Sunburst. She eventually finds the real Sunburst trapped in an underwater bubble, frees her, and together they set off to the Crystal Palace. Confronted by the real Sunburst, Laverna reveals herself and tells the Enchantress that she must abdicate the throne of Fairytopia and step into a spell-proof chamber, or else Laverna will destroy the first blush of spring. The Enchantress again agrees, but Laverna breaks her promise to save the blush and tries to destroy the first blush of spring. Alina intercedes but is weakened. The other apprentices perform luminescence, aiming their beams of light at Alina, who absorbs the power, transforms into a beautiful rainbow fairy, and fights back to Laverna, turning her into fairy dust, permanently killing her. With Laverna gone, the spell-proof chamber shatters. The Enchantress is resorted. Despite the damage of the first blush, the apprentices manage to coax it to open successfully. At the graduation ceremony, the 7 apprentices applaud for their good work and bravery, and each is handed a necklace as proof that they've completed the course. Alina has a heartfelt talk with Lyndon and Glee before she leaves, and Bibble gets a goodbye kiss from Dizzle. Alina and Bibble both set off back to the Magic Meadow to see their friends again.